Good Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us on Kare 11 News Now. I'm Alicia Lewis. We have an update on breaking news out of Brooklyn Park. Right now, police and state patrol are searching for the driver that hit and killed a woman on Highway 252 overnight. They say the crash happened near 73rd Avenue North just after 1 o'clock this morning, and that the woman was walking on the southbound side of the highway. State patrol shut down the area while they investigated, but it has since reopened. New this morning, we're learning a 22-year-old accused of pretending to be a White Bear Lake High School student was arrested and then released after skipping court. The new developments come before another hearing in the case today. Audrey Russo's at the Ramsey County Jail with what could happen in court.
Good morning. Calvin Lubke's appearance at 8:30 is over Zoom, so he only needs to show up virtually. Now, his last court date on April 30th, that was supposed to be in person, but he didn't show, which led to his arrest and his eventual release from the adult detention center here in Ramsey County, all within the last 24 hours. Now, according to the jail roster, he was arrested yesterday afternoon and was released around 6 p.m. last night. Now, Lubke is accused of forgery, presenting a foreign birth certificate to enroll in White Bear Lake High School this past fall. Lubke, who's 22, posed as a 17-year-old and was enrolled at the school for about 19 days. Now, that story fell apart when Lubke was arrested on outstanding warrants, and somebody saw his mugshot and recognized him as a student at White Bear Lake, but they say he used a different name while he was a student at the school. Back to you.
In just 2 days, the convicted mastermind behind the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme will learn her fate. Our Lou Goose has the details.
Federal prosecutors plan to ask a judge to sentence the central figure in the $300 million Feeding Our Future meal fraud case to 50 years in prison. Amy Bach, the former executive director of the nonprofit, is scheduled to be sentenced Thursday morning. They included a number of exhibits from Bach's trial, like this ridiculous image of an officer walking past a junked-out building that was claiming to serve thousands of meals to kids every day. Bach's signature on checks paying millions of dollars to other fraudsters, and texts from her threatening to slap defamation lawsuits on anyone who tries to stop her, plus referring to her organization as the mob. Bach's attorney is asking for no more than 3 years. Prosecutors write that she deserves 50 years because, quote, the brazen and staggering nature of her crimes has shaken Minnesota to its core, leaving lasting damage in eroding public trust. Her actions have permanently altered the state, and not for the better. The judge will have a lot of latitude in her decision Thursday, as the max is life in prison. I'm Lou Goose. Follow for more news.
This morning, a federal agent is facing charges after shooting and injuring a man in North Minneapolis during Operation Metro Surge. Investigators say 52-year-old Christian Castro shot through the door of a home, hitting Julio Sosa Solis in the leg. Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty also added a charge for falsely reporting a crime after he said he was being attacked with a shovel and a broom. The criminal complaint says city surveillance and evidence contradict that story. Castro has not been arrested yet.
Do we have any idea where the ICE agent is right now? No. There are also mechanisms out there to find him, and I feel pretty confident that we will get him in here to start this process.
In a statement, an ICE spokesperson called the charges a, quote, political stunt, but said lying under oath is a serious offense, and the U.S. Attorney's Office is investigating the statements. Happening tomorrow, the man accused of attacking his wife with a hammer in Wyoming, Minnesota, will head back to court. But this morning, we're learning an Amazon delivery driver stopped the attack. Charging documents say that the driver was dropping off a package when he heard screaming from the home and then saw the woman covered in blood. He told police he confronted 72-year-old James Johnson, who then dropped the hammer. Investigators say Johnson admitted to trying to kill his wife so she would not have to deal with his financial problems. This morning, we have good news on the wildfires burning in northern Minnesota. In just the last few hours, officials confirmed that the Stewart Trail fire near Two Harbors is now 100% contained. Here's some new video. Justin in the newsroom giving us our first up-close look at the damage left behind. The Stewart Trail fire started Friday, burning just over 350 acres. In the video, you can see cars and trees burned out. Officials say 34 buildings have been burned down, including 8 homes and businesses. Meanwhile, in the Brainerd Lakes area, officials say the Flanders fire is now 60% contained, burning nearly 1,700 acres. Crews say they believe the fire started by Flanders Lake. No word yet on what sparked it. Well, brand new video into the newsroom this morning showing a late night rescue in the Boundary Waters. Take a look. The Minnesota Air Rescue Team shared the video on their Facebook page. They say a canoe capsized, leaving 2 people stranded last week. The rescue team was called in because water levels and strong currents were making it hard to reach them on the ground. They say the mission marked a major milestone as their first nighttime hoist rescue. President Trump is turning his attention to midterm primary elections today, with control of the House and Senate on the line. The president is on a winning streak, knocking out political foes in these primaries. And today his sights are set on Kentucky's Thomas Massie, who's broken with the White House on key issues. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest.
Hi there. As voters head to the polls in 6 states today, one of the key questions is just how closely Republicans will stand by President Trump. It is the central issue today in one Kentucky race. A key test today for President Trump as he seeks to unseat congressional Republicans who've crossed him, with perhaps his biggest target, Kentucky Congressman Thomas Massie, on the ballot today in what is now the most expensive House primary in history.
It's great to be here.
The president posting a flurry of messages against Massie and this video.
Massie's the worst congressman in the history of our country, always voting against Republicans and good values.
Massie says he votes with Republicans 90% of the time.
The problem is that 10% of the time, they're voting against you.
Though he's clashed with the White House on key issues, including the budget and the war with Iran. And he's stirred up frustrations for helping lead the charge to release the Epstein files. His challenger, Ed Galrine, a farmer and former Navy SEAL, on offense.
The stakes are just going to get higher. Okay. He will continue to betray us.
Massie says he still supports President Trump, but argues
the main thing they've got to decide is, do they want a rubber stamp?
President Trump has shown his power to oust Republicans who split with him. Over the weekend, Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy lost his primary, having entered the president's crosshairs after he voted to convict him for inciting the January 6th insurrection. Key allies backing the president.
There is no room in this party to destroy his agenda.
As President Trump tightens his grip with midterm election season well underway. We're also tracking key races in today's Georgia primaries. Republicans are under pressure to show their loyalty to President Trump, just as polls show his approval ratings slipping, with voters voicing frustrations over the cost of living and the war with Iran. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
We have new numbers into the newsroom this morning from the Ebola outbreak in Africa. Congolese authorities say that at least 131 people have now died. They're also confirming 500 cases now recorded in the region, prompting a public health emergency from the World Health Organization. Now, officials say it's a rare variant that's spreading, which has no approved vaccine or treatments. We're also learning a person from the U.S. has tested positive. The person was exposed as part of their work in Congo. The CDC says that the U.S. is restricting entry for people coming from the DRC, Uganda, and South Sudan. Well, if you have tickets to Guys and Dolls at the Chanhassen Dinner Theater, listen up. 2 more shows are being called off as they're dealing with a cyber attack and a suspected norovirus outbreak among cast members. The theater says today and tomorrow's matinees are canceled. They already postponed this past weekend shows because of cast illness. They're working with the Minnesota Department of Health to investigate. And the theater is also working with cybersecurity experts to resolve the hack. They'll reach out to anyone with tickets about their next steps. Well, today, the city of Minneapolis is likely getting news its leaders have hoped for. According to multiple reports, the 2028 NFL Draft will be awarded to Minneapolis at this week's league meeting. The event is highly sought after for its economic boost and civic pride. The group Visit Pittsburgh helped host the draft just last month, drawing 800,000 people.
It was such a great investment of our time and our effort and our resources. To deliver what we were able to deliver is going to pay dividends far into the future. It also really ignites a civic pride that's almost immeasurable.
Pretty great. Minneapolis has some experience hosting some pretty large events, including the Super Bowl back in 2018 and the NCAA men's basketball tournament in 2019. Stick with us. We got more news and weather coming up after the break.